I wanted to make a short video to show you guys how to edit and change your toolbars in DreamWeaver, and how to bring up, by changing the mode in which DreamWeaver is loading, additional shortcuts and toolbars for numerous things that are buried in these menu items up here. So let's start with the toolbars. If for some reason by accident you ever turn all of your toolbars off, you would see your document in the window like this without your standard live view, code view, design view, all that stuff up here on the top. You'd have to go back into the view menu and you'd have to go to toolbars and bring up the document toolbar. So that's the one that I think, as you had DreamWeaver installed, all of you should have in there by default. And if you don't, that's where you get it from. You definitely want that in there, but I haven't noticed anyone complaining that it's not, because these are things that I've been trying to teach you to use in almost all of my lectures since we started using DreamWeaver. So you should definitely have those up there. And once you have at least one toolbar there, without having to go back into the view menu, you can actually right click and bring up the standard toolbar menu, which most of you probably wouldn't have up, which enables you to cut and paste, do standard saving, stuff like that, undo, redo, all that kind of stuff. And you can also bring up a toolbar that has to do with browser navigation and the files within your site that you've created. This is something that I don't really use much, as we don't have a browser built into DreamWeaver. I still have yet to really understand how that works with CS5. I think it's kind of a newer tool, so it's something you probably wouldn't want up. And style rendering is something I'm going to advise that you work more with over here in the CSS styles pane, rather than using these shortcut buttons and choosing and editing the different attributes of your styles within this pane here. And if you want to add one, I would suggest going into properties and adding it from there, as it'll automatically prompt you to either embed it or add it as a separate sheet. So this is one that I'll leave up to you. If you start getting very savvy with CSS, it might actually help you, but it has some more advanced stuff in there, render TV media type, and some pretty advanced type of coding that we're not going to get into quite yet. So we're going to pull that one back down. I've got the standard up and the document toolbar up. Now, in addition to having these, I've mentioned this in several lectures, and I keep forgetting to bring it up, and I keep leaving my DreamWeaver on design view on purpose, because I keep saying, oh, I'm going to change it in every lecture, and I just don't do it. So I've set up a video here to show all of you how to do it very quickly, and the video should be under 5 minutes. Here's all you need to do. Most of you will have had DreamWeaver installed, and it will have defaulted to designer view. Okay? Classic view offers a much better list of quick access menus with visual buttons for the tools. And it's one more thing to speed things up a little bit for us and save a bit of time, and actually, avoid us having to go deep into the menus. And I'm trying to teach you guys the quick ways here. And on Friday or Thursday, it depends on when you have your second class this week, we'll be using some of these tools from the layout menu. So instead of finding the layout menu under one of these menus, I believe it's under format. See, I never even go in here. This is a perfect example. Most of the things from the layout menu would be in here. Layout objects. See, and you got to go and find these things. So there's shortcuts to all these items in here just by clicking on layout. So it's easier to find if you forget where it is, and you can see I use these things so much more often than going into the menu. I don't have to remember where it is, okay, under layout objects here and insert. And then some of the other things that are still considered layout type objects would also be found in here. But you can see a bunch of the stuff you see in there is just in this menu for us, okay? You can change the formatting of a font, and it will ask you if you want to do it in CSS. You have some favorites that you can automatically add here, okay? If you go into an item, I think you can right-click. If you right-click in here, right-click to customize your favorite objects. Customize favorites. You can just bring them in like this. You can put whatever you want there. So something that you use very, very often. Maybe a named anchor. Maybe let's say I do that quite often. I can bring that over, click OK, and all of a sudden it becomes part of that. Now that's on the comment tab, so I don't really need that there. So if I wanted to get it off, you go back to customize favorites, click on it, okay? You can put it in the trash can, and that doesn't mean it's removed from your DreamWeaver, obviously. It's just taken off your favorite bar. So I'm going to leave mine open for right now. I still have to start using that more often. I'm going to start putting more things in there. But this set of menus is only available to you. It's not something you'll be able to pull up in Toolbars. You have to switch the view. And there are other views you could try as well. It's up to you which one you end up using, but I think Classic View is going to be the best for the kind of design that we're going to be doing. And other Adobe applications like Photoshop and Illustrator also have this option over here where you can change the mode in which the application is set up. And it's not the same as just changing your toolbars. It's changing the way the whole thing is laid out. And that's why now I have these just from changing to Classic View. So if you guys can, try it out, which it's a 1-minute thing before we have class, and then I'll remind you before class again, and then you'll have your DreamWeaver all set up and ready to go to start making some divisions. See you then.